Hey, it is 10:05 Monday morning. Better late than never. Boogie with the Bull Monday morning caffeine is on a device near you, or it's on a device that you're looking at. Randy Rhodes and Dave Glovin are here. You can join us on the Dave Glovin profile on Facebook and be in the live chat, or you can go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and join us and be in the live chat over there. Wait a minute, that was not supposed to happen. But I'll take care of that. It's a minor technical gaffe. I'll take care of right there. While Randy Rhodes, when we go to the newsroom, I gotta get a typing up one of the old teletype machines going in the background so that you can hear Randy Rhodes with the morning news.
There you go.
And interruptions by Dave Glovin.
Now I'm gonna quick grab something. I'm gonna show you something, guys. Hang on a second.
Randy's going to grab something quick, and hey, I've been thinking about this over the weekends while Randy stepped away. Not everything has to be politics. Now, I put Boogie with the Bull broadcast together, and they're mainly of a political realm because that's where I am, and anyone is invited to come to the broadcast and get a few minutes or 15 minutes or even more time on a broadcast where they can bring up something that is not political, because life is not always political. Okay? This is actually a true statement that I can tell you. Life is not always political. There's great things going on in your life every day with your family, your grandkids, and it is important, and we want to help you celebrate the good. We want to help you celebrate the bad, because the bad will come there at times. But life is not always a bowl of cherries. But if you're a cherry farmer, come give Randy Rhodes a bowl of cherries on his desk with his morning cup of coffee. And Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m., he will come in here, and he will probably want to be so excited that he'll want to set up a roadside stand for you, selling your cherries wherever they are, or making you an advertiser in exchange for cherries on all of the Randy Rhodes broadcasts, which are, I never know which broadcast it's going to be, but Randy Rhodes will always have a broadcast for you Sunday evenings at 10 a.m. unless Randy Rhodes says something different right now.
Sunday evening at 10 p.m., not a.m.
Oh, 10 p.m.
No, God. Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Good Lord.
Okay, you just stopped me and said 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. I won't watch it because at 10 p.m. I'm cutting Z's.
I'll be in bed too. But what I want to share with you guys is this. One of the things I do is I store, rescue.
You're a whore?
I did not say that. Oh my goodness. Spink.
Okay.
No, I love finding things that are old that I could use for my broadcast, for my research, for my genealogy research. And I had a while back on Facebook Marketplace, a lady I was looking for magazines, right? Because magazines back in the day actually recorded history. It wasn't slanted, okay? So I was doing all this research, and I found this lady who was selling Lifetime magazines, okay? And not the Life, like that it's like an 8x11 size now. I'm talking about the original size of Life magazines, right? They're huge. They're absolutely huge. And I bought these really cheap from her, and she actually stiffed me because she had like 100 of these magazines to sell to me. And I don't think she realized the amount, and she was going to pay the shipping. I was going to pay for the magazine. She was going to pay for the shipping, right? I don't think she realized how heavy these magazines are when you put them into a box. Because I have maybe about 20 here, okay? And I'm going to tell you what, it is a struggle to lift these up. And So she didn't send me the rest of the magazines, and I had paid for them.
Okay. So
And I,
what are you finding in the magazines that
well,
is of
okay,
interest that may be a
okay,
future
sure,
broadcast?
sure. So obviously they have the wildlife stuff going on, all the wildlife. But how about this? Field Marshal Montgomery, okay,
Yeah.
when he was still alive. A
Okay.
story about him. Um, Obviously, the whole Cuba thing and
Yep. The Cuban Missile
but
Crisis.
right, and the various combats. These are things that people forget about. Okay, it's like it never happened. So
Forget
I
about it.
right. So I grab these as quickly as I can. Obviously with the best price in mind. And since I don't drive anymore, I have converted my garage into a really nice, what I call it my Studio B, B as a boy, um, because of I can use it. And so I'm setting up a library down in that Studio B, and I'm going to save these magazines. Now, a lot of the magazines that I'm trying to get are obviously from the South, because we know the left. Here's the laughing people, right? Um, we know that the people on the left are doing their damnedest to destroy all the history of uh, the South. So I'm trying to save these magazines, the CSA magazines, the Civil War magazines, and keep them first as a point of reference for me. So as I'm doing my genealogy, and I learned that someone's ancestor fought in a certain battle, well, there might be information in one of the magazines that I can use to reference, so I can add to the experience that this client's going to have with my services. Here's Khrushchev. Remember him? But anyway, I wanted to share that. I got a lot of old magazines of Civil War, really old. I had, oh, good Lord. I had a bunch of magazines that were concerning guns. It was put out by the Second Amendment people, but they were so darn old that the paper was actually starting to crumble. So unfortunately, I had to get rid of them, because the last thing I want is those little wormy things that live in paper and stuff. So there's a name for that bug. I forget what it is, but something to do with the library of books. But you go into like an old bookstore that's selling used books. Sometimes you'll find them, and if you find like the pages have like little holes, don't buy it, because it's got worms.
What's the going price for Life magazine? Let me try to get it out. Life magazine. Some of the issues have enormous value. What is the average value for a Life magazine that you have? Have you looked up the value of any of them?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of value in them, because it is a niche. It's a niche. We're looking for a particular person has to have an interest in those magazines. These go for individually, like for $5, $10, depending on the cover and obviously the condition. But I could try and sell these off and get that money I need for my house, but it would take a while to do that, and I kind of like the magazines, but. Yeah, so I do that to as a way to keep myself out of trouble, and to preserve history, because as we know, as you can see it, history is being rewritten all around us.
Yep.
And that's sad. It really is.
You mentioned the other day that I guess there was a statue in the South that had been there forever. The property got sold. The new owner didn't want it there. So I guess They contacted the city, and the city was going to come and take it and store it. I hope that that the statue was safe while it was there on that property until they got there to take it
What
and remove
happened
it.
and
It wasn't destroyed
what
in the
happened? What
process.
prompted the removal of the statue is that the original person who owned the building and owned the land told the Daughters of American Revolution and so forth that they had his permission to place this statue of a soldier, just an ordinary soldier, on his property. Well, he then sold the building and he sold the land. Okay, and the new owner didn't want the statue. And what started happening was people who are against the South started, spray painting and throwing paint and damaging the statue. And it was becoming a nuisance to the new owner of the property. He was trying to make this property nice, right? So
Right.
he gave the city, instructions to have it removed. So the city did remove it into a warehouse, and the daughters, the last I saw, which was a couple of days ago, are close to relocated to a property on private land where it'll be safe and not have to be worried about being torn down again.
A
But it's
retirement community for old statues.
yeah. Well, that's what remember that's what Trump did before he left office. He set aside land and money for statues so that those in those cities that didn't want the statues, those statues could be relocated to this new safe haven, and then people who agree with the statues and love what the statues represent can go there and walk through this park and observe and see these statues. Unfortunately, one of the first things that idiot did when he got into office was he put an end to that park and the saving of the statues. Um, you know, I understand to the victor go the spoils. And the North won the war. We got that, okay? But all these years later, they're still pounding in the heads of the descendants that you lost the war, you lost the war. We're taking the statue, we're taking the pictures, we're taking the mamas. You lost the war, ha 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 ha. And they're just not stopping at that. They're finding damn grave sites where the body's been laying since the war, and and time changes and there's stores around, or the environment changes, and the left are going in and digging up these bodies and relocating them somewhere else, and it's just wrong. I mean,
It
uh,
is.
the descendants of those dead soldiers, it's like a desecration of a grave.
Well,
You
the
know,
souls of those dead soldiers will probably have something to say about it too.
it would be nice to. Obviously, it's not, for those who believe that you believe, but it would be nice to, for all the spirits of the soldiers who are being affected by what the left's doing, for them to step up out of their grave sites, out of their mausoleums and so forth, and going after like in footstep, marching down the street into battle, just to see all these dead spirits coming at you. That'd be cool, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think it'll be because I'd be on their side. But yeah, so going through the news this morning, there's really not a lot. The Israel and obviously Iran are exchanging missiles, um, and causing little damage because Israel has a phenomenal self-defense system. Um, I forget what it's called.
It's a
Um,
dome.
yeah, the dome. Right. But they have a
From
name
what I
for it.
understand, it's not always sealed. They have to activate it, I
Right.
guess.
Right. Right. Um, when I first heard about their dome, my immediate thought went to sci-fi, and they push a button, and this energy shield envelopes, the city of Israel, right? Like this
Yeah.
big dome of energy. So anything touching the dome just kind of like evaporates. To find out that's not what it is actually just a shitload of missile launchers with a very, very accurate system. So when they're firing the missiles, they're firing, I think it was like two for every one of theirs. So it hits the incoming missiles. And the accuracy of this system is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I understand it was American made, and I guess we sold or gave it to Israel to defend themselves with. But the sad thing is that we're the ones who make the missiles that go to that system. So if you get a pissed off Democrat, left leaning president, he can say, you know what, Israel, I'm cutting off the sales of these missiles to your dome, and you can just deal with it, on your own. It would be nice that if Israel has the knowledge to create these missiles themselves that they need, so that they're self-sufficient with maintaining the launchers and not dependent on us to continue to like and support Israel, because we know that there are people in the White House who would rather not deal with Israel and would rather see Israel get taken over by the Muslim nations. But that's going on. And from what I understand, what prompted the attack from Iran is that Israel launched an attack against the Iranian embassy, and Iran said, you know what, that was too much, and they're launching the missiles against Israel. I haven't been able to find any factual evidence that that's what caused Iran to attack. I did find that the United States released what was it, like 10 or 20 billion dollars to Iran that was frozen, and a week later they're launching missiles into Israel. Tell me there's no connection there.
No, I'm sure the Biden administration or Hunter Biden influence peddling had something to do with it. I just don't understand it anymore. How many times is Congress going to sit down to people from the Biden administration and go, no, we're not going to use that money to bomb Israel. We're going to send that money to Ukraine, which I think is still an abomination. And now you see Speaker Johnson linking foreign aid to Israel with foreign aid to Ukraine. And it got me so ticked off on X yesterday that I started posting that maybe it's time to remove Speaker Johnson. Things have to be dealt with separately. And I think it's Ukraine should not get anymore until Ukraine is investigated, and our longest running ally should continue to get what they need within the realm of what we can afford to give them. It's going to be interesting after the election when the 1.5 million people who didn't vote for Trump, as opposed to the 1.5 million that got him elected, wake up one day and realize that their EBT cards don't work anymore. They owe their student loans and full interest up to date. I saw a great video on student loan debt yesterday where this gal really went off on AOC and said, so now I'm supposed to pay off everybody else's student loans because they just don't want to pay them off. And then they can go back to school, get another degree, and I'm going to have to pay that one off too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
where are we? Where are we? I can't wait until November 5th and he's out of the White House. And, will he be out at this point? I don't know. Will Trump be in? I don't know. I want to believe that he will be, but,
Well, you know how I feel about the
I
upcoming
do.
election.
I do.
And,
I do, and you're welcome to speak. You're welcome to speak yours, and that's why I brought it up the way I did. I don't know for sure that Trump will be in and Biden will be out, but I don't think anybody does, other than Trump and Biden, because if you put them up on a stage next to each other and Biden can remember who he is and where he is and what he's talking about, then of course he's going to continue on as president, is what he's going to say, and of course Trump is going to say, I'm going to be the president, and everybody, you have to believe the candidate that you're supporting is the one telling you the truth.
But when you look at Biden, and the dude can't even walk. I mean, he walks like a really, really, really old man. And I hate to say it, but when I was younger, and prior to my 4 knee replacements, and I was in good condition, I'd be walking in a supercenter market or out on the sidewalk somewhere, and I'd get behind this old guy, right? And he's like, duh, duh, duh. Like he just barely can pick up his feet to walk. And I think to myself, oh my God, come on, move, guy, right? And finally, I got so impatient, I bolted past him, right? But you know what? Here I am, 4 knee replacements later, and unfortunately, I'm walking that way. But here we have a president who's supposed to be vigor and strong and vibrant and able to, stand up to our enemies, or stand up to the rulers of the other nations and stand toe to toe with them. Just from a figurative image, and he can't. He needs help getting off the stage. He needs help getting on the stage. He needs help finding the right door. He needs help finding the right place to stand. He forgets what he has to say, so he has to have scripts.
Chuck Schumer having to walk him into I guess they were, I don't know where they were, it didn't say. But all of a sudden, around the corner comes Chuck Schumer arm in arm with Joe Biden. And it's like if he had removed his arm, Biden probably would have fallen down.
Yeah.
It's getting to be...
But then you see all these damn polls, and it's like they got Biden like 2 or 3 points behind Trump, or maybe 2 or 3 points ahead of Trump. I'm thinking to my guy, yeah, right. There's no way in hell he's that high in the polls. Yep. I mean, who's going to vote for, other than the idiots, who's going to vote for a person who is continually increasing your damn taxes and all that stuff that he's doing?
I guess I can only hope that when Ashley's diary is released in the New York Times and everybody else, that it's not going to be unredacted. Because if it is... Let me just finish. If it is redacted, I can just imagine everybody meeting in Times Square and throwing their New York Times into one big bonfire.
That diary is not going to see the day of light, the light of day. Because, maybe it would. Because look at what the left supports. The left supports pedophilia, lesbianism, gays, sex changes. They don't really see anything wrong with the Biden touching little girls in inappropriate areas and kissing them and smelling them and so forth. Maybe releasing this diary is not going to have the effect, other than on the right, of what we're expected to have. Because the left says, hey, yeah, I mean, there's the damn states. The states are starting to change the age of accountability. They're lowering it so that the pedophiles can, have their sex with 12-year-olds now and not be arrested.
Yeah. And more, I guess there wasn't a big deal.
Hi, Mrs. Globin.
In the sense that she can't hear because I have headphones on. But Randy said hi.
Hi.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Okay. All I know is there may be another grandchild later today. If there is,
really?
I'll tell you later. Yep.
Oh, wow.
There is, I'll tell you later.
So today's birthday.
Well, from what I understand, Bert, the projected date was May 11th.
Okay. Oh, May.
And
So we're a month away.
under her contract, we weren't contracted to see her until sometime in June, to give mom and dad and older brother time to all bond. And her mother was coming for, I think, a month. So
does Boogie with does Boogie with the Bow have the contractual rights to film the blissful event?
no, because I probably couldn't. I don't know if even with if we had our own children that I would have stood and watched. I might have been in the room, but I couldn't have really.
Yeah, I got you. A little queasy.
Little.
I can see that.
But no, no. So I wouldn't do that. But we are. I don't know if we're supposed to be excited. I mean, we're excited, I guess. But and medical technology evidently can deal with, if someone decides to make their grand entrance a month early, that's not always a bad thing.
When my mom was born back in the day, we're talking a long time ago, she was so small. How small was she? She was so small that they put her inside of a shoebox, and with a blankie, and they really didn't expect her to live. So to keep her warm, because she was born in the winter, to keep her warm, they put her in a shoebox with a blankie and put her behind the wood stove to keep warm. But thankfully she lived because I'm here.
This is true.
So,
Okay, people, the lines are open, like C-SPAN. The lines are open. Dial in on 911 to agree with Randy Rhodes. Dial in on 611 to disagree with Randy Rhodes. No, I'm teasing.
Well, what are you seeing?
I'm teasing.
No, what are you seeing? I can't see.
What do you mean?
What are you saying about the people dialing in 911, 611?
No. You know how, like, when you're watching C-SPAN, it always says Republicans dial in on line 411, Democrats dial in on line 911. And, if you want to get on and talk.
I just didn't know
doing a teaser on that. But I'm glad you're here, because if you weren't here, I'd be doing this alone right now.
Yeah.
And it might look like this. And not be frozen. But anyway.
But I do listen to you guys' show mostly at nighttime, because when I do my genealogy thing, I don't have any open close hour time frame. So at nighttime, I'll be laying in my bed, and I'll have my 2 iPads, 2 cell phones, and a notepad and a notebook and a pen. And I'm listening to either your show, William Rayfield's show. Fed! Good Lord.
Huckleberry?
Yeah. So I'll be watching
General Hospital.
Yeah. So I'll be watching those shows while I'm doing my genealogy thing, just to keep me awake. But he doesn't normally bark. He probably sees another dog outside. He wants to go outside and play.
I don't know. You can listen to a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and stay focused on doing something else at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good that way.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I can't.
But I've been I watch the shows, so I get an idea of how
what not to do, because we're all doing politics.
Correct. I'm looking at the different shows to see how they're formatted, and to see what they're doing, so I can either mimic it or say, well, that's something I won't do.
Well, what if we all started doing all the other stuff besides genealogy? I mean, I don't have enough room on my desk to store all the to have all the devices connected to all the sources of genealogy. So what if we were doing other things like talking about Nikki Haley? You said you had something, a new
Yeah.
story about Nikki Haley to bring up this morning.
Yeah, Nikki Haley, as you guys know, she finally decided she doesn't have a snowball chance in hell um, to win against President Trump. So she is suspending her bid for the election, which means she gets to keep control of all the votes that she got during her short run, and now she can, if it's sort of like kidnapping them, because if Trump needs the extra votes or the extra support, he has to go to her and say, "Look, I could use those extra votes you have. Let's work out a deal." Um, so she has a little bit of a hands up on him, holding those votes to her
I,
chest, but
I
she's going to.
wonder if that's really true, because it's like you said, she doesn't have a snowball's hell in chance of getting elected. So if you want to vote for someone who doesn't have a snowball in hell chance of winning the election, why would you do that? And if you did, why would you tell anybody after the election that's who you voted for?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going through the news here, and unfortunately, it's very difficult to try and find a newscast that's actually right in the middle of the way they broadcast. But Joe Biden is beating challenger Donald Trump in 10 states. What the hell? No, he's not. You know,
Well,
uh,
it might be
uh,
10. It might be 10 blue states if there are 10 blue states left. I know Emerson College from Boston, Massachusetts did a poll recently down here that shows Trump is proudly 13% over Biden, but they noted the difference between a Biden voter and a Trump voter, that a Biden voter right now is motivated in Florida to go out and vote for Biden because they want to close that 13% gap. And they claim that a Trump supporter, a Trump voter, is not as motivated to go and vote because the polls show that Trump is 13% ahead. But I always thought it was the opposite, where it was if Democrats saw their Democrat candidate running ahead by a large amount, they would be lazy and stay at home because they're Democrats.
yeah,
Republicans always seem to be, let's get everybody out to vote that's Republican because that's what we do. But go
right.
ahead, Randy.
But one thing I've learned about polls and things like that is that they're slanted. I took a college degree in marketing and actually graduated. But uh, the way you do polls, it all boils down to the questions you ask, how you ask them, and where you're asking the question as far as what demographic area. And you can get a poll to see where the hell you want. That's why when you walk into a store, all the candy and goodies are down at child's eyeball level because the kids are seeing all the candy, all the goody stuff, and they're going to be nagging mommy and daddy. Can I have that bag of candy? Can I have that bag of candy bar? No, no. Can I have that? No. And they finally give in. They're not stupid. That's why they're putting all the healthy stuff on the top shelf because, people don't want to reach too far to get their food. So that
I must be a kid because we went grocery shopping yesterday, and my wife said to me when we were in the cereal aisle, "Pick out a box of cereal because the boxes that you have are no good because you haven't eaten them." And my eyes immediately went down to the Cocoa Puffs, and
yeah, there you go.
I didn't pay any attention to the old man cereal.
Lucky Charms, yeah.
Yeah,
Frosty Flakes, yeah.
I saw Frosted Flakes, but first my eyes went right to the Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, the sad thing, the really, really sad thing, is that they price all the what some would consider junk food at $2 or $3 higher than the healthy food, and so if you want that sugar fix, you have to pay more money for it. And for me, I do it, but I'm in a household now where there's two people saying, "You gotta watch your weight, Randy. We're gonna buy this for you instead,"
Yeah.
and it tastes like cardboard. Um, but they're not stupid.
Yep.
So when I see these posters saying so and so is ahead by X number of points, yeah, right. It's going to boil down to is the actual day of voting. How many people get off their damn asses and go and vote in person?
Yep.
And stay there long enough, especially the electronic ones, because I heard last election, is that the machine you voted Republican, and the machine actually turned it to Democrat,
Yep.
because someone where these machines came from fiddled with the system and made every vote turn Democrat. So you need to, for those who go to electronic voting, stay there, watch, make sure you're registered, and vote as a Republican. Make sure it goes through, and if it doesn't, raise a bunch of hell, because that's how they're going to win at the polls.
Yep.
But I personally believe that the idiot's going to have us in a war before election time, and he's going to declare certain rules are in place for voting, and he's going to stay in office. That's
But at the top of that, I have to wonder that he's an element of the Constitution, meaning that his office is within the Constitution, and the Supreme Court, all 9 of them, are supposed to interpret the Constitution the way it was written, not the way people want it to be, and say yes or no. So even if there's any evidence counting the votes after the polls close at 8 o'clock on November 5th, I think it's just going to break out. I mean, I'm listening to that Scott Lobato, who said, if there's any sign of cheating, there's like a population here of around 300 million. 150 million are going to be happy that he won, and 150 million are going to declare war. And they claim it's the same the other way, that if Trump wins, there's going to be 150 that are going to declare war, 150 million that are going to declare war, and wondering whether or not Donald Trump could calm the masses down and deal with this better than just Joe Biden saying, "Hey, if you don't like it, too bad."
No, so first off, I don't think it's going to be a clear-cut election that Trump gets the votes and he's sworn in. I don't think it's going to be that clean cut. There's going to be some shenanigans going on. But let's see that one of the shenanigans is that there's at the time of the election, Trump was ahead like he was before,
Right.
And all of a sudden, oh, we got a water break, we got to shut down the votes. Oh, this is happening, we're going to shut down the votes, we're going to shut down the polls. Oh, let's put up these walls so people can't see. You see the numbers dropping on the newscasts where it's like the spin wheel, and the numbers are dropping down and his is going up.
I never got why the sheriffs just didn't go in. They must, sheriffs must have just been bought off, because everybody understands that a sheriff is the highest ranking law official in the county. And I just don't understand, unless all of them were bought, all the Democrat ones were bought off. I
just forecast that if it turns into a civil war, that Trump is not going to do anything to stop it, because he's going to be so damn pissed off this happened to him a second time. Okay, he's going to let the ball roll where it goes.
He's not going to leave, because where is he going to want to go? And if he does, and even if he buys an island or goes to an island that he might already own and does something, it's not going to stop. The Democrats will just buckle down on him harder. And the only good thing that might happen is that there's no extradition treaty between the island of Trump and the United States.
Yeah.
What bothers me more is that if Biden wins and the articles about Disney buying Epstein Island aren't true. Disney has said they're not true, and everybody that posted one is saying that it was a satire. Will it be true? Because some people are saying Disney knows more about that island than they're telling us.
Well, they probably use it to film some of their movies.
Well, they're saying that supposedly it was set up to be a stop on cruises with children. It was, I don't really know. I wish that whole thing would just go away. He's dead. They'll sell the island. Hopefully, the money will go to the victims. But we all know that is probably not true.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bill Reese. Bill Reese is a king among Facebook Messenger group chats. All kinds of different ones that you have access to, and if you're into that, then talk to Bill. And you're right, Suzanne. We don't know for sure. Is Epstein dead? Is he alive? Is Elvis dead? Is he alive? Is JFK Jr. dead? Is he alive? We don't really know. Is Michael Jackson dead or is he alive? We don't know. And at this point, it would frighten me even more if it was finding out, yes, these people are alive and they've been somewhere, because they're never going to be able to tell you where they were.
My thought always been some alien spaceship came and picked them up and took them to their planet. So somewhere Dean Martin is singing to the aliens.
No,
Yeah.
And then you had to match it, and then the lights flashed. It kind of looked like that circle game where you have to hit the colored lights in the right order.
Yep.
It was a cool movie watching that part of it. Watching Richard Dreyfuss, build this Devil's Tower dirt thing in his living room. Now, that didn't so much interest me. But, watching the mothership land and the communication back and forth before all of a sudden the door opened and all these Earthlings who had been gone for who knows how long.
Well, that's what Michael Anthony talks about on his one show is that that the aliens have in exchange for their technology, we gave them so-called volunteer humans to go back with them, something to do with their DNA and create an offspring, I guess. But he said that happens, that the ships come back and they let them go and they pick up new ones.
Yeah. Well, I said early in the beginning that I had always heard that Earth was a devil planet, not a devil planet, a prison planet. That the inmates from all of the other, or the useless from all of the other planets were dropped here. And if that's true, then Close Encounters of the Third Kind has to be somewhat of a true story, because they came back and dropped and took some to go home. Maybe your time here on Earth was done and you were going.
Yeah, you served your sentence. Take you back home to the home planet.
Now, on the other hand, I don't know what happened in the movie Independence Day, because when Bill Clinton was president and the mothership flew over the White House, it blew up the White House from the inside out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
And Bill Clinton is still with us, and
that's a cool movie, but
I don't know. But Susan Accardo says that he's supposedly dead. His grave is unmarked, as I was going through the list of all these people. And it's my understanding that in a lot of the cemeteries where graves are unmarked for the for the protection of whoever may be buried in that one spot, that is why a grave is unmarked. But eventually people seem to find out and everybody goes public with it and everybody knows. And then, I don't know, I
Well,
don't know what happens.
I think that the graves that are unmarked just boils back to the family didn't have the money to put a tombstone on there with the
Well,
person's name.
but I think it's
They're
more,
not cheap.
I think it's more than that too. They don't want you to know that that's Adolf Hitler's grave. Well, there may be a grave for him. They don't want.
Hey, he is not dead.
They won't want you to know that's Joe Biden's grave.
He is not dead. He's living happily
They
on
won't
some.
want you to, I wonder is OJ. I mean, the report was he died from prostate cancer, but is OJ Simpson really dead? If you really want to go and look at all of that stuff in the press lately, is he really dead? Is Elvis really dead? Elvis supposedly was talking about coming back and went as far as to say that at some point in the future there would be a quote unquote high tech concert tour put together, and evidently was hinting around that when it debuts in Las Vegas, that he was in fact going to appear there. So,
Yeah.
probably as slim as he was in his younger days.
Yeah. It makes me wonder when famous
I mean,
people.
this is just a body, so I mean, I don't know what the point of the discussion is. Anyway, but go ahead, Randy.
It makes me wonder when people who are famous and they live this lifestyle of sex and drugs and alcohol, and then it finally comes down to it's their time to get to die. I wonder what they think of. Am I going to hell? Am I going to heaven? Is it too late to ask for forgiveness for the way I lived? What their last thoughts and their words are. Because, it has a lot to say. My brother's experience with death puts in my mind that, there is a definite, separation between heaven and hell because he experienced it. And, I don't know. And it's like with me with my mom, I swear my mom is still haunting me for some reason because I smell her perfume and her cigarettes all the time.
But that can be the power of human emotions. No one's proven whether or not they are around us, but I would not want to find out 5 years after my dad passed that it's not my dad, it's Facebook, somehow hypnotizing me while my nose is pressed against the screen for 18 hours a day. Maybe think about your dad. Oh, and I'm going to tangent us right away, but through this, but it is just getting worse than just sitting in front of your device on Facebook or sitting next to your phone, which is an Android on Google, and grabbing it to search something, and you type in the first 3 words and it finishes the sentence for you. So I mean, and I was not ever really bothered by the fact that, I mean, I used to use MapQuest religiously, and I'd put it on even though I knew where I was going. I'd still put it on. But now it's just kind of eerie that I say to Donna, we got to pick up Kleenex, we got to pick up dog and cat food, we got to pick up dry dog and cat food, we got to pick up this, we got to pick up that, and I'll sit down and I'll go into Google, and before I know it, I'm looking at coupons for all the things we have to buy, and the lowest price at wherever we're gonna go and shop. And we're kind of spoiled because we live in a triangle that there are 2 Walmart supercenters and a neighborhood store, and we live in the middle of all three. So and they're all equal distance, so it could be whichever one we decide we really want to go to. But
Yeah, the AI creations they have um, are eerie. I mean,
yeah,
I have to be careful because I carry my phone in my pocket a lot, and depending on what the last screen was, I left it open, and sometimes dial. Like if I had on someone's messenger, uh, you know, however it gets pushed, it'll dial the phone number of that person on Messenger,
yeah,
and I'm trying to, push that damn stop button, and it says that's not. Come on, stop! I don't want to talk. Hi, how you doing? It was a mistake. I'm sorry. Click.
yeah.
But yeah,
The
AI is.
weirdest, the weirdest phone call I ever got was from a lady who sounded like my mother. And I was in the car on my way home from a job, and I had just pulled in, and I said, "I'll call you," or I said, "I'll call you back in about a half an hour," or you call me back in about a half an hour. And I waited, and this lady called me back, and it turned out that her son is also named David, and the last digit in his number was either above or below the last digit of mine. And I swear it was my mother, and this lady swore I was her son, and
Oh
I
my God.
just weird,
Yeah.
really, really, really weird. But Suzanne says, someone I know told me the AI map thingy argued with him. I've argued with AI several times because the smarter ones will tell you that you ask them a question and they immediately look toward all of the databases that they have access to, and within a nanosecond they will get you and answer you all of the information they can. But if they can't tell you enough, then they kind of BS the rest of it. So I've had discussions with AIs that tell me that that Mark Zuckerberg owns the majority of Facebook, but I own the majority of Meta. And just stupid things. And when you try to correct them, they don't want to hear, because of course they're the AI and they think they know everything. But sometimes it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
She almost ran him off the road. Well, I can't say whether or not an AI may have done that or did that intentionally. I will tell you that MapQuest for the longest time wasn't always 100% accurate. And the police officer that would end up following you if you turned right on a one-way street where you could not turn right on didn't care. You turned right on a one-way street and you were getting the ticket.
Yeah.
But it's not a perfect technology. But intentionally taking you off the road, it's probably possible. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but
Well, they're
but
also. I mean,
doing it intentionally, I don't I don't
yeah,
I
I
don't
think from
really
that
know.
standpoint, it's going to boil down to someone hacked the system and deliberately made the car change course and to. I mean, it's been known to happen. You
Yeah,
get someone smart enough, they'll hack into your system, and it's just like the electronic security systems. They're easy to hack into and do whatever they want to. Um, uh, that's like my Ring doorbell. I have it set up, I think it's properly set up to pick up people. But there are some times that a person will come to my door and be there for a minute or two, and that Ring doorbell never picked up that person walking towards the door. It's like, holy shit, how did that happen? So it's not a
but they
perfect
were driving
system.
by in their Amazon truck and they tracked the box of blueberry muffins that was still sitting on your porch, and you're in the middle of a broadcast, so they just figured you probably didn't need them.
Yeah. Anyways, it's 11 o'clock and I gotta get
It
going
is
here.
11 o'clock and Randy's got to go, but I appreciate you coming. We will sit down and do it again on Wednesday, and anyone who wants to join us is welcome to join us. Anyone who wants to bring up things in the live chat is more than welcome to join us. And one last time, Randy Rhodes will tell you what are the possibilities that you could be watching at 7 p.m. on Sunday? Because I don't know if all of them run every Sunday or if he just like throws a dart on the wall. And this week it's all roads lead to home. The next week it could be on the road to Dixie. The next week it could be shut up, Dave, and let Randy talk.
Yeah. So the only actual broadcast is on the road to Dixie, Sunday to 7 p.m. As long as I have content, I was going to do a show about this farm located in Gettysburg during the war between the North and the South, and the guy didn't get me the video that he has to show it to me so I could use it on the show. So I've been trying to reach out to him and not getting any responses back. So that's why I didn't have a show this past Sunday. So I'm going to try and do a show every Sunday. It is co-sponsored by the CSA2. Which is the Confederate States of America. Their task in life is the preservation of all the statues and monuments and stuff with the concerning the history of the South. So they do financially sponsor that show. The only other show that will pop up on occasion is Studio 6 Broadcasting. But
Four better than the other one.
Yeah,
I had to say that.
But the all roads lead to home genealogy does not have any live broadcasts. What you'll see there is occasional post of something unique to my clients. Like the one time last week, I found out she was related to Lady Godiva. And so I posted a picture of her being portrayed and of course information of my client. The other one that freaked me out, and I tell people, you might think you have a boring family, but until you start looking into it and dig deep like I do, you don't realize how exciting your family actually is. My one client. It turns out that his family, she was back in the 1500s. It was a love affair that finally wound up in marriage, but it was so strong of a romance between this woman and this wealthy man that in the year 1902, they started writing books about her and her romance, and they made these plays on stage plays about her life and so forth. And it's like, holy smokes, who would have thought? 400 years later, his descendant is semi-famous. I mean, I saw all these books, all this artwork, and it's like he was blown away when I showed it to him. So, folks, don't think you have a boring family, and to get someone like me who takes the time, who digs deep, and looks for you.
Yep. All right, Randy, you want to do it? You want me to do it? You're welcome. I want you back on. You're not welcome. Well, you are welcome, but I want you back on Wednesday. And it sounds like we don't have the audio problem, which means that we'll have one other source to check it when you're on. And we would like you on Friday with Bill Muckler. But although Bill Muckler is not sure he will be on this Friday because he has relatives coming to visit. So Friday may be open to whatever we do and whatever we do. Anyway, Randy Rhodes looks like he did, in fact, take his parachute and go. So we'll help that along. Like I said, I enjoy having Randy on. Looking for another person, one or two maybe, max two more maybe, to join us Monday and Wednesday on Boogie with the Bull broadcast. I did invite two people over the last week. Keith Pribble from HML Media over on YouTube and Rumble, and William J. Bernard, who has Wolverine's Freedom Radio, which is internet radio, and I don't know much more than just the name. I believe he retired from Wolverine's Freedom Radio, or retired Wolverine's Freedom Radio, and he may be joining us Monday and Wednesday, and hopefully Tuesday and Thursday as well. So we hope that you will watch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., sometimes a little later, and Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We do go a little bit later, but we're going to stop that at the request of the screen may just go blank, and we may not be there if we go later than 8:30. Saturday mornings, we're still kind of figuring out a rare Saturday morning boogie with the bull. It'll be at 10 a.m. Can't tell you how long it'll be or what it'll be about. It doesn't have to be political. It can just be whatever people want to talk about, those that are watching. Good morning, Andy Ryan Hasselbart. Randy Ryan Hasselbart. And I have to type that in before we go. I know a lot of people do come to my profile and they watch, and it says that you are watching, but you're not in the live chat talking. And I hope that I am not embarrassing you when I say good morning to you. If you are watching, we appreciate it. I hope you're sharing if you're watching, if you think the broadcast that you're watching is worthy of being shared. And if you have something to say, I hope you will come into the live chat and say it. So at that being said, it's 11:07. We're going to end this broadcast because the dogs, Delilah and the cat Lola, decided they wanted brunch this morning. So we're going to feed them late. And that is that. Go out there and make it a great day. It looks beautiful outside. Sun is out here in beautiful Fleming Island, Florida. Let me see if I can get a quick weather for you. It's kind of being a pain in the neck, but it looks nice outside. So go out there. I can, if I do it this way. Oops. 72 degrees, mild, under clear, sunny skies here in beautiful Fleming Island, Florida. This was updated at 9:48. Let's see if we can get an update on it. But okay. It's still hanging around 72 degrees, I'm sure, outside. It's been really nice here the last 2 days. Go out there and make it a good day. Spend some time outside and don't always stay caged in. Also, we'll get you all kinds of information. You'll see the crocheted products from Family Treasures. My wife and our daughter-in-law crochet all kinds of beautiful things. And they even take special orders if you can't get to a craft show or you want to order something and send things to your friends and family as gifts. So there'll be more information about that floating around in the Facebook news feed on my profile, and we can go from there. So, Bill, you have a great day. I'm sure we will. A couple of things to work on here. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, we have Susanna Cardo and the broadcast talking about trafficking. If anyone has heard me refer to Suzanne as a child who was trafficked, I tried to correct that all over. She was an adult who was trafficked and was very clear in telling me that it is not just children. It can be anyone. So some hard information for people to hear, hard information for people to share tomorrow night at 7 p.m. from 7 p.m. to 8:30 tomorrow evening on Boogie with the Bull, Tuesday Night Bull. People are calling it Boogie with the Bull Patriot News. It's Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live, but you can call it Patriot News if that's what you want to call it. I just don't want to scare people away from coming and watching it if they think it's Patriot news, because everybody needs to understand what is going on and what happened in this particular case. And it doesn't matter whether or not you are a Republican or a Democrat or a leftist socialist neo-Nazi or whatever else would go through my mind. And I'm not insulting anybody when I do that. The interesting thing about Boogie with the Bull is I take a different approach to this broadcast than other people do. I want those who watch, if you have a comment or feel that you have a need to join us on a broadcast and speak for yourself, you are more than welcome to do so. You, again, like I said, do not have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a conservative patriot. You don't have to be a patriot. I would prefer that you're a citizen, because if you come on the broadcast and you're not a citizen and you're going to start griping about how bad it is here in the United States, I don't think you're going to get treated very, very politely. I will always try to be polite to you and hope that you will be polite to me, but I can't guarantee that everybody else will. Last thing, if you don't want to pay back your student loan and you manage to somehow get Joe Biden to expunge your student loan, you have no right to go back to school, try to get another degree, and think that we're going to pay for that. Fool me once, that's okay. Fool me twice, eventually you're going to end up paying for both. I don't believe that the Supreme Court will back the Biden regime when it gets up there as to whether or not the Biden regime has a right to expunge your student loan, and I don't think they should. As I said, I have friends in the past that I've known that that's their business. They loan you money to go to school. Yes, just like any other loan that you might take out in the course of your life, sometimes when you were young and stupid, you took on a loan at a higher rate, and then that became a problem for you. So yeah, maybe there is a right to at least have it reviewed and bring the rates down to something that you can afford. But, you went to school, you became a brain surgeon, you got, you're the number one brain surgeon in the country, you need to pay back that loan. And even if you're not the number one brain surgeon in the country, you need to pay back that loan. You got the knowledge. And if you had not borrowed the money and gotten the money and went, then you wouldn't have the knowledge. Should education be free? Yeah, some of it should be free. As far as I'm concerned, preschool through community college should be free, although some fees are necessary when you get into the community college world, because that's when you're playing around with the majors that you want to take, and when you get your AA, you're going to want to probably go someplace else for undergraduate and graduate work, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. So you should kind of understand that you have some responsibility at that level. But K through 12 should be free, and the states should be paying for it. I don't know if it's property taxes. I don't know how else. I don't really want to get into that mess, because if you homeschool and you pay school taxes, or your property taxes go to the school board, and you educate your kids at home, then you should keep that money and use that to educate your children. And Jen, the homeschool mom Woodruff, can always give you more information on that. So it's coming up on 11:15 in about 35 seconds. So we're going to say this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, who is glad to say that the views are improving on Facebook, whatever they are when we post the podcast. Sometimes it's 25 or 30 live views. Sometimes it's way up at 75 or 80 live views. Sometimes it's over 100. We're very happy with whatever we get. And if you want to be part of the broadcast, like I say, come into the live chat, tell me to shut up and say something. Ask a question, bring up a topic, come on the broadcast and tell me to shut up and let you talk. Same thing. If you want to be on a 10 a.m. Boogie with the Bull broadcast, I would appreciate it if you let me know by 9 a.m. That way I can let anybody else who's going to be on the broadcast know that we have someone else and we have to divvy up the time somewhat equally. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. You want to be on, you got to let me know by 9 o'clock so I make sure I limit the number of people that are going to be on camera guests to the number of cameras that we have, which is 8 total, me and 7 others. There will be no guests other than Susanna Cardo, Bonnie Johnson, and Jen Woodruff, who will be doing the interview tomorrow night with Susanna Cardo and Bonnie Johnson, who is going to join us because Bonnie has some information that she can add to this, and Suzanne has a lot of information that she wants to present. It is limited to an hour and a half broadcast. As we are going through, if you have a question, please come into the live chat and ask it, and I will attempt my best to work it in, flash it up on the screen, and make sure the appropriate person answers and addresses your question. That's the best we can do. On Thursday, it's an open discussions broadcast, just a bunch of people getting together and talking. Want to be a part of that? Let me know by 6 p.m. also. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. Go out there, make it a great day. Finish your cup of coffee and start taking care of whatever you have to take care of around your house, around your job. And by all means, make sure and go outside and spend some time outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end one more time.